Alright, so today we're going to be giving One Piece characters bounties using only strength as the criteria. Now normally in the world of One Piece, the bounty is given based on the threat level of the person. So really quickly, I'm going to throw the top 10 current bounties on the screen for a second, and so by the end of the video, we will see how close the two lists are. So with that being said, let's get on to the first bounty. And starting off with Roronoa Zoro at number 10. And he actually moves down a spot here, but Zoro holds his own amongst the top 10, having multiple different feats on Big Mom and Kaido, and even being able to warrant some level of respect from them as far as combat ability goes. And he also has unlocked the highest level of Haki so far in the series. I just think from the feats shown and the trajectory he's on, it only makes sense for him being the top 10 bounties in the series. Eustace Kid enters the rankings at number 9, and this is higher than I wanted to put him, but I think Shanks is just way stronger than him, so I won't knock him for getting one-shotted, as I've seen many people in the One Piece community do, and put him in such a low tier, which is insane. I've seen people say he's not even commander level. I'm like, bro, come on. But as we know, Kid helped Law take down Big Mom during the Wano arc and still deserves respect in the One Piece community, as he is still extremely powerful. Coming in at number 8 is right hand of red hair Shanks, Ben Beckman. Now before some of you get mad, let me explain why I have Ben Beckman so high. This is really up to your interpretation, but to me it feels like the narrative surrounding him is obviously extremely strong, with even his existence being compared to Shanks himself, and even before that they talk about his immense strength, so it makes sense that them somewhat being comparable. Another thing is we have the red hair pirate said to be the most balanced crew, and such would make Ben the closest in comparability to Shanks, and that to me would have to put him well within the top 10. Of course, if you don't think we have enough on him so far, that's completely understandable if you don't want to put him this high, but I think he deserves to be here. For our 7th highest bounty, we have Revolutionary Army member Sabo. And this is another person who, again, we don't know an insane amount about his power, but we have seen enough to justify him being in the bottom half of the top 10. The new widower of the Marimara no Mi, formerly held by his brother Ace, we know Sabo's feats against Burgess, who is no slouch himself, stated to have high levels of power. Sabo also has potential feats of him stalemating 2 admirals and leaving them with injuries. Now it can also be said they were holding back, but we don't know to what extent. We also have them surviving a very strong attack from Emu, which to some is the strongest person in the universe. So once again, if you do not have Sabo this high, I understand, but from what I've gathered, I would place him here in this list. Trafalgar Law is our 6th highest bounty, and this placement is pretty self-explanatory, as Law was the lead in taking down Big Mom alongside Kid, and he has arguably the most overpowered devil fruit in One Piece. And even seen taking an attack, maybe even more from Kaido, but this is the only one I could find for now. Not only that, he is also in a battle against Blackbeard pirates basically on his own, and has clashed with Blackbeard, so with that being said, I have to put him at the number 6 spot. For the next bounty, we are going with Monkey D. Luffy. With his newest form Gear 5, which he achieved after awakening his devil fruit, is just truly broken. And we see that when this man is literally swinging Yonko around like a jump rope, as well as having all levels of Haki. The only reason he isn't higher on this list is because of now he does not have full complete mastery over Gear 5, because if that was the case, the sky is truly the limit for Luffy. And with Kizaru and Saturn quickly approaching Egghead right now, we have the chance to see where exactly Luffy does stand within the One Piece world. Now for our 4th highest bounty, we have Marshall D. Teach, aka Blackbeard, and this is once again another mostly headcanon placement, but logically in the story he would have to simply be above Luffy, seeing as he's one of the final antagonists in the series, as well as him also wielding 2 of the most overpowered devil fruits around, as well as possibly a 3rd very soon. Just kidding. But as far as feats go, he's kind of featless. I mean, he did take Ace, who was extremely strong, being a commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, as well as being a Conqueror's Haki user, and he probably beat Law off screen already, but we don't know that until Otis tells us that, and I almost forgot about him defeating Marco as well. But yeah, I think Blackbeard is very powerful and could be the strongest for all we know. Alright, now assuming this person is alive, which is pretty much confirmed in one of the chapters, Kaido should be within the top 3 strongest bounties alive. And we're talking about someone who's on par and even stronger with Big Mom. And also, this is a guy who doesn't even know how to take his own life and has had multiple execution attempts on his life by the world government, as well as him also being able to go toe to toe with Odin, who took a super strong attack from Goldie Roger himself, and also clashing with Whitebeard. Law and Zoro were also getting severely hurt by his attacks, as well as him fighting a whole bunch of people during Wano, and even Gear 5 Luffy taking some damage. All in all, Kaido is definitely a force to be reckoned with. So since most of you know who the top 2 bounties are by now, and since this is a forever ongoing debate, I'll mention them both here, and that is number 2 Shanks and number 1 Mihawk. But another reason I needed to group them together was that Mihawk is basically featless, so we'll go over the Shanks feats and basically cover up for Mihawk's lack of feats to say. So Shanks was able to clash with a pretty upset Whitebeard, was said to be one of the only ones who could stop Blackbeard, as well as teach avoiding him at Marineford. He also seemingly shook off the Admiral Green Bull with his Conqueror's Haki alone, and of course during the Marineford War, he stopped a bloodlusted Akanu's attack with little effort. Then there's Mihawk, who is just above Shanks, and they are both swordsmen. He's the world's strongest swordsman, and as a Shanks fan, there's nothing I can really say here. I've coped enough. Dracul Mihawk would have the #1 bounty if it were ranked by strength. And that concludes the bounty rankings. I know many of you will disagree with that order, and that's fine, as a lot of these are definitely not concrete and up for interpretation, and because of that, there was Dragon who was left off because we literally know nothing whatsoever about him. But yeah, with that being said, let me know what y'all think or drop your rankings below, and I'm out.